Snow had been falling since dusk, the kind of slow, silent snowfall that made the world feel hushed, as if the night itself were holding its breath. Christmas Eve settled over the forgotten railway station like a white blanket, softening the sharp edges of the old wooden platform and burying the steel tracks beneath, layers of cold memory. The station hadn't seen a train in years, not since the mines dried up and families drifted away in search of warmer futures. Only the lantern still burned, swaying gently from a beam, casting a fragile golden circle in the blue winter darkness. Beneath that light, on a rough wooden bench, a young Chinese woman slept curled into herself, barefoot, her thin gray coat pulled tight around her shoulders. Snow clung to her hair and lashes, melting slowly against her skin. She looked like someone the world had forgotten. Ethan Cole reined his horse to a stop when he saw her. The lone rancher had been riding back from the far pasture, checking fences before the storm grew worse. His shoulders were broad beneath his worn leather coat, the fur collar rimmed with white, his revolver resting at his hip more out of habit than threat. He had lived alone for years, his ranch and the land his only companions. The sight of the woman struck him with a force he didn't expect. People didn't sleep at the old station anymore, and certainly not on Christmas Eve. He dismounted slowly, boots crunching on snow-covered planks, the horse snorting softly as steam rose from its nostrils. Ethan raised a gloved hand to calm it, his eyes fixed on the woman as she stirred, eyes fluttering open in alarm. Fear crossed her face when she saw him standing there in the lantern light, a stranger in a cowboy hat with winter clinging to his coat. She said something softly in Mandarin, her voice trembling, her gaze flicking to his holster and then to the empty tracks behind him. Ethan spoke gently, telling her he wouldn't hurt her. And though she didn't understand the words, the tone reached her. Snow fell between them as she shivered, curling inward, shame and exhaustion written across her face. The wind bit harder, and Ethan knew leaving her there was not an option. He knelt, draped his coat around her shoulders, and quietly said, "Come home with me, if you want." Confusion flickered in her eyes as he gestured warmth, shelter, home. She hesitated, trust hard-earned and easily broken, but finally nodded once. He helped her onto the horse and rode away with her into the storm, the lantern's light fading behind them, two lives crossing paths in the cold. The ranch emerged from the snow like a memory made solid, windows glowing amber against the night. Inside, warmth wrapped around them, the fire crackling as Ethan settled her near it and wrapped her in a blanket. He washed her frost-bitten feet with care, sliding thick socks on afterward, his rough hands gentle. She finally spoke his language, whispering thank you, and he told her she was safe. Over steaming mugs, she told him her name was Mei Lin and spoke of a village by the sea, of dreams that led her across oceans, of promises that dissolved into indifference. Ethan listened without interrupting, offering no solutions beyond his presence. When she finished, he told her she could stay as long as she needed. That night she slept deeply in the spare room, while Ethan sat by the fire, haunted by the image of her alone on the bench, and by all the times he had ridden past, suffering before. Morning came bright and white, and for the first time in years, Christmas did not feel empty. Days turned into weeks. Mei Lin learned the rhythms of the ranch, cooking meals that filled the house with unfamiliar comfort, helping where she could. Ethan taught her words for simple things: sky, horse, fence, home, and in return she taught him patience and hope. On New Year's Eve, snow drifted softly as they stood together on the porch. Mei Lin told him that night at the station had saved more than her body from the cold. Ethan answered simply that he hadn't walked away. Sometimes that was enough. And if this story moved you, if you believe that small choices can change lives and that kindness still matters in a cold world, then don't let the journey end here. Subscribe to the channel for more powerful, emotional stories like this, stories that remind us all what it means to be human.